morning. It is great to see y'all's faces. Susan, I want to be wherever you're at right now because that looks amazing. Um, so my chapter from Atomic Habits is chapter 11. This was a very short chapter, so thank you, Daniel, for giving me one that's like 2.5 pages. Yes, I did get my ears lowered yesterday. It was time to grow up, get ready for family reunion. I got to dress to impress to make that referral network grow. But today's topic is walk slowly, but never backwards. So this chapter starts out talking about a professor who split the room down the middle. The right side of the room, they were quality. The left side of the room were quantity. So they were graded by the end of the semester by the right side of the room. What was their quality of photos, and then the right side of the room, it didn't matter how many photos they took, they were rated on their quantity of photos. So if they took 80, 90, 100 different photos, they continued to grow. By the end of the semester, what the professor noticed is the quality photos, they sat around and they spent most of their time trying to figure out how to take the perfect photo. What was the perfect image? What was the perfect lighting? And so they got a kind of more of a mediocre, because you get kind of rushed down to the last minute, and so you just take the photo. Whereas the quantity students, they saw more success because they had trial and error. They got to trial different lighting, different angles, different shadows. They were able to take just photo after photo after photo to where they actually ended up with more quality photos by the end of the semester. So what does that teach us? Well, it's the difference of motion and action. Motion, like the students that were in the quality section, you spend a lot of time thinking about it, analyzing, building, focusing on kind of the maybe the research of it, focusing on the how you would get to that perfect. Whereas the quantity side of it, that's taking action. That's going out and doing. That is door knocking for our world. That is holding open houses. That is actually setting aside the time and putting AI into effect, running models, building websites, building ads, getting stuff posted, getting the material out there. That's the action. I think a lot of us real estate agents, we kind of sit in that bubble of motion. We talk about it, we go over it, we go to classes, we go to sessions. We think, "Oh my gosh, family reunion, I came back with so many nuggets. I learned so much." The AI class, we'll post that in the chat here. That's happening next week. That is 100% free, so plug to that. Going to the AI classes and then learning from people who are doing the action of it. But then we come back and we get sidetracked and we talk about it. We might read another book on it or read some more information on it, watch a few videos, but then we never do it. That's kind of where we're at. And one of the quotes from the chapter is, "It is easy to get bogged down trying to find the optimal plan for change. We are also so focused on figuring out the best approach that we never get around to actually taking the action." How many times have we seen that? How many times have we been in that where we've talked about it, we've gone over it. We're pretty sure we've got our vendor list, we've got our buyer consultation, we've got our seller consultation. We know what we need to have, but we never do it. We just move on. It's taking the action, or the motion is never going to produce the outcome that we're looking for. And I think that's where a lot of us as agents, we kind of sit, is we love the idea, we love the ability to be in this role, to make our own schedule. I love that when agents tell me I got into real estate so I could make my own schedule. I have yet to ever figure it out. I have yet to meet anybody who's actually figured it out, because my schedule is always around my clients. I put into motion getting the everything set up. Action is selling the home. Who's afraid of failure in this group? Those of you with hands. We got some hands. Everyone's afraid of failure. That's why most of us sit in that motion. We talk about it, we do it. There's no failure in motion. We're just learning. We're just kind of spinning the wheels. We're not actually getting out there in public and going, yeah, I lost a client. Yeah, we were under contract and it fell through. So now we're back at it again. You don't see real estate agents putting that on Facebook. It's always, hey, we closed. Hey, got new buyer paperwork signed. Got a new seller or new listing coming up. You never hear, oh, they fired me. We don't ever advertise that. But that's I think where we run into the delay is we get into that motion instead of action because we're afraid of failure. We can't be afraid of failure. We have to take those risks. I know everybody talks about it, and I probably should have the number memorized. I want to say it's like 1776, but it's not. But it's how long did it take for the light bulb to be made? How many failures before the light bulb, which we all take for granted every single day, you got to keep staying in action. You got to keep making sure. And then like we talked about yesterday, changing the mindset of I get to do this. I get to go out and have these conversations. I get to go out and change lives. I get to help people be first-time home buyers. Um, we can't be afraid of the action. And the only way that you actually get better is by getting the reps in. When you're having those tough conversations, when a seller pushes back that they don't want to pay your compensation, when a buyer pushes back and says, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I want to see houses, but I'm not ready to get pre-approved. If you don't know how to handle those conversations, what do? We freeze or we just agree and we're like, okay, well, I'll just keep doing it. We got to get the reps in. We've got to get the practice in. You don't become a professional just by going out one day and going, I'm going to go play professional golf. Nobody does that. You have to go through all of the phases of anger, depression, happiness, excitement, back to anger, because that's what golf does to you. It brings out every side of you that you didn't even know that you had until you go play and you're like, you know what? I'm not keeping score anymore. I'm just going to hit the ball. You have to go out, you have to get the reps in, you've got to get the practice, you've got to get the feel. In basketball, when you make your first free throw, you're trying to mimic exactly what you just did. What was the form all the way through? Did I do the follow through of the shot? Did I just throw it up there? Did I granny, throw it up there? What you have to get the reps in so that way your body gets used to the action. Same thing in the real estate world. You've got to get used to the action. You can't just keep putting it into motion. So my challenge to you is if you're going to this AI class that is happening next week, again, it is on Tuesday from 1 to 3. It is 100% free. Just go on and sign up. Take one thing from it and put it into action. Give it a go. Give it a shot. Follow through. That is, like as I said, it was a very short chapter, but here we are. So it's between motion and action. Which do you choose? And that's what I got.